We just had some massive news dropped on us in the latest Forged in Aeternum video. Ward and Bane perks in New World will be no more by the end of 2023.
Any plans to reduce, simplify, remove the ward system?
Yes. No, we've heard the feedback loud and clear. We agree with it. We think it's overly complex. It creates too much of a gear chase.
So as you heard there, straight from the horse's mouth, Ward and Bane perks are in fact being removed, and they said that it's safe to say that these perks are going to be gone by the end of the year. This does, however, leave a few questions in my mind, like what's going to happen to our current gear that we've grinded so hard to get up to this point? And I think the answer is it may just be obsolete. We know there's a huge gear rework coming with Season 3 or with the expansion towards the end of the year, so I'm thinking that this may just make our gear obsolete, which in my opinion is okay as long as we get a better system in place moving forward. I know this is going to suck for a lot of people, but I have no idea what to expect. They could replace the Ward and Bane gear with some other perk. I'm not sure what the future holds, but what I do know for sure is that Ward and Bane are going away. This has been a highly requested thing from a lot of people for a very long time. I also know that a lot of people don't play the game specifically because the gear grind is just simply too much. Well, now with the removal of Ward and Bane, this should be a much better system. Hopefully it'll be a simplified system, and hopefully gearing in New World will be so much better after they remove Ward and Bane. Again, I have no idea what to expect. They didn't really give us any details other than that they are removing them, so it's going to be very interesting to see what happens moving forward with our gear. They did acknowledge that the system is just too complex. It's not fun for players to engage in, and so that's why they are removing it. But they also went on to say that what they'd like to do for the preparation loop is to incorporate ward potions and just increasing their time to last for a full expedition. So it seems like whenever you run expeditions, you can still use ward potions for a specific enemy type to mitigate some of that damage, but you're no longer going to be required to have Ward and Bane on your gear. This is some pretty massive news coming out from New World. We knew they were going to do something with Ward and Bane. We heard that a little while ago, but we weren't sure exactly what that was. Well, now we do. It's just going away completely. No more Ward and Bane. It's going to happen by the end of this year. I, for one, am pretty excited about it because I know this is one of the pain points for a lot of players. I would like to see New World grow. I would like to see it get better, even though this may suck for some of us that have spent countless hours grinding out Ward and Bane gear to get geared out for M10s up to this point. Overall, I think this will be a good change and a healthy one for the future of New World, which is what I'm here for. That's what I want to see. So I, for one, am very happy this is happening. I would love to know what your thoughts are on this subject matter. Do you think removing Ward and Bane gear is a good thing? Are you excited about this? Is this going to be enough to maybe bring you back to the game if you're not playing the game right now? To me, this is pretty crazy. I'm here for it. I like the change, and I'm excited to see where they go with the gear rework in Season 3 or in the expansion at the end of the year. But a few other things they went over, and we'll go over them really quickly here. These were noteworthy things that I think they mentioned in the video. They talked about time to kill in PvP. They said right now it's a little bit faster than they are shooting for, and they're going to be looking at increasing health and reducing damage a little bit over time, but nothing too terribly fast. And they also talked about future raid plans, which I personally found to be pretty interesting, and I was excited to hear what their plans are. They did acknowledge that the Sandworm is just a boss, and it's the first raid type experience coming to New World, but it is only one boss. So they said they want to get feedback on that boss fight and its mechanics. Then once they feel like they're making a good raid boss, then they're going to transition into making full-blown raids. I think that'll be an exciting time for New World whenever that day happens. They also talked about a couple of OPR map changes. The question was, why don't you add more cover to OPR? And the answer that they gave was that they're looking into it. They think that range is very strong in OPR, but not necessarily because of the strength of range, but because of the design of the OPR map. That's what they're going to be looking into, is just the design of the map so they can mitigate some of that range damage. And then they talked about separating PvE and PvP perks. Someone asked, are there any plans for PvE only weapon perks for legendary weapon drops, similar in concept to PvP perks? So they said that in general, New World is moving away from very specific perks. So like perks that affect certain types, or even perks that respect certain family types and things like that. Like we just learned with the removal of the Ward and Bane system, they're getting away from those types of perks. But they also said it's important to be able to separate the balancing of PvE and PvP so that they can really push the PvP stuff and make it fun, make it a little crazy out there without affecting the balance of PvP. So I thought that was pretty encouraging. They're working on separating the two, it sounds like, which should be pretty good moving forward, because New World has always had a problem with balancing PvE and PvP. I think that's a challenge for any MMO that goes down the route that New World did whenever you kind of combine them. It says they have some stuff they're working on there, and they're not ready to talk about it yet, but they will soon. So that sounds promising to me. Hopefully that'll be a good thing and good for the future of PvP in New World. And then one of the last things they talked about was open world PvP and territory influence. This is something we kind of already knew. They said, will there be an update in open world PvP or territory influence to make it more engaging? The answer was yes. Later this year, we have some changes coming that are going to make open world PvP more engaging. And I think what they're referring to there is the fort system within each territory, that they're going to be pushing people into a territory to do open world PvP in order to declare war. Personally, I think the territory control system in New World is probably one of the worst things I've ever seen in an MMO. It doesn't work. Any MMO I've ever seen that tried this to make it a massive part of their game, well, to be quite frank, those MMOs aren't around anymore. I don't know of one single MMO that has ever done this and had a very long-term successful game. They have done this. It was a very short stint. It turned into a niche MMO, and ultimately the game died. I think that territory control in New World severely needs to be overhauled. I could go into a long rant about that. If you guys want, we can make a specific video about it if you're interested in hearing my thoughts on that particular topic. But overall, I think it is absolutely terrible, and it needs to be adjusted in a big way. But that's neither here nor there. This was the big news of the day, though. Ward and Bane perks are being removed. I think that's pretty crazy. It is a massive news and something that a lot of people wanted, and so that's here. That's going to happen at the end of the year. That's going to do it for this one, boys and girls. I just wanted to bring you guys the Forged and Aeternum recap. Some big news there. A lot of cool things happening for New World moving forward. I would love to know what you guys think about all of these changes, especially the Ward and Bane change. What do you think? You think it's a good thing? You think it's a bad thing? You excited for it? You're not excited for it? I'd love to know. Let me know in the comments below. But that's going to do it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate you. If you enjoy New World content, please make sure to like and subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate that as well. And of course, we stream every Monday through Friday over at twitch.tv/BDLG. Love to see you come hang out over there. That'll do it for this one. We'll see you next one.